Welcome to the Garden in the Kitchen cooking show. I am Chef Silvia.
And I'm Anne Buckley.
And we're back in the kitchen cooking something warm for the cold season.
Yes, absolutely. Something to keep us nice and cozy.
Yes, so January is snowy, it's raining, it's all of the things. It gets dark very early. So it's nice to come home after a long work day and crawl up with a bowl of soup or something warm.
Yes, absolutely. So tell us, Silvia, what are we going to be making? I think our viewers can probably guess which way we're going with this.
Yes, so today we'll be making an Instant Pot cabbage roll soup.
Okay.
This recipe happens to be low carb, so if that's something that you're watching for, so it's a gluten-free recipe, very healthy.
Perfect for January.
Yes, and it's also budget friendly, which
Good.
I love that.
Also helpful for January. I know that the festivities often affect both your waistline and your pocket. So
Yes.
Great choice.
Very much so.
Yes.
So I just think this recipe is so good, and it's very healing. You can use a bone broth for extra dose of nutrition, and you can double the batch and make sure you have some in your freezer ready to make your life a little bit easier.
Yes. Yes, as we start all those new schedules with the new year.
Exactly.
Okay, take us through the ingredients.
Okay, so we have a bunch of beautiful, fresh, colorful ingredients.
Does look very
just
colorful.
the way I like it.
Yes.
Right. So we have half a head of a cabbage here. So it does look like a lot, but it's only half.
Shrinks right down, doesn't
it?
It
really does. It really does. So 12 ounces of crushed tomatoes. You can just use tomato sauce. You can use diced, crushed. You can use pureed tomatoes. You can use
whatever
fresh
you
tomatoes.
have in the cupboard.
Yes. So about 12 ounces. Here. We also have a pound of ground beef, 2 cups of carrots.
Okay.
You can slice your carrots or
chop them. Dice them here.
Yes, yes. 1 small onion, 3 garlic cloves, 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Over here we have bay leaf and some fresh grounded pepper.
Okay.
And the recipe calls for salt.
Yes.
And thyme. So what I have here is actually a lovely combination of thyme, salt. It's a homemade recipe.
Is that something you've blended yourself?
Yes, it is. And this recipe actually is on the blog as well. It's very easy. It's just salt and herbs. So if you have a lot of herbs at home from your garden or leftover from your shopping, and they're kind of going bad, this is a great idea to use up all of your herbs.
Suggestion. Yes.
And it makes it easier because right now we don't have to chop up herbs.
Right.
It's already
prepared. Great idea.
And our final ingredient is 32 ounces of broth. I'm using chicken broth, but you can use, like I said, bone broth, which is very healing. It's got a lot of healing properties. Beef broth, vegetable broth, whatever you have, whatever you like.
So good for detoxing as well after that holiday season.
It sure is. It really is.
Sounds perfect.
Yes.
Shall we start?
Yes, we shall.
Okay.
So let's get started on our Instant Pot.
So I'm glad to see the Instant Pot is coming back. We've kind of taken a small break from this for the last couple of episodes. How are we going to use the Instant Pot today, Silvia?
So Instant Pot goes on vacation during the summer.
Yes.
We don't use it as much.
Yes.
But now that it's winter, I use it several times a week, and I love it. It's a great tool to speed up your recipes.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Most of my recipes, I start with saute mode.
Okay.
And this is what we're doing right now. So if you have an Instant Pot at home, you just go ahead and press your saute mode. And it's going to start to heat up.
Okay.
And that happens fairly quickly. So it's going to warm up really quick.
Okay.
And we'll just go ahead and add our oil right away. So what we want to do here in the beginning is just to brown our meat.
Okay.
And add our spices and start infusing some flavor into the soup. And then later we'll add all of the ingredients.
Okay.
And cook on high pressure for 10 minutes. But you do want to brown the beef before.
Brown the beef off beforehand.
So our oil is in, and I can feel some heat happening right away. I've got 1 pound of grass-fed ground beef here. You can use ground chicken,
yes,
ground turkey.
Whatever your preference
Well,
is.
yes, or you can even mix and match.
Okay.
I like ground beef, so we're gonna add some ground beef right now.
Okay.
We'll add right in.
And so you still need the olive oil there, even though there will be some excess fat from the meat.
Yes, you don't want the meat to stick to the bottom of the pot. The oil will help with this process, and you just want to break down the meat a little bit as you start to saute it. You just help that meat breaks down into smaller chunks.
Yep.
And you can start hearing.
You can start hearing that it's starting to take the sizzle on.
Yes. So this process right here, this part of the cooking will take 10 to 12 minutes actually. It will be the same. It's the same as if you did on stovetop. So if you're browning the meat on stovetop, it will also take 10 to 12 minutes.
The benefit here is that it's all in that one pot.
Yes. So it's all done in one place. The last pot's to clean, and it all happens right here.
And presumably you can just keep an eye on that, and then if you were at home, you could prep these vegetables now while that is happening. So you wouldn't have to have this already in advance.
Yes, in fact, that's exactly what I do. I'm just adding one thing at a time, and I would be chopping my onions right now because I've got a little bit of time with my beef. I would be chopping my onions and adding that in right now. So it happens really fast, and within half an hour, your soup should be in, and you can walk away, maybe take a shower, check on the kids, the email, and whatever, and come back
whatever else needs
have
doing.
a nice and warmy meal. So
lovely.
The beef is cooking.
Got it.
And we want to add the onions almost right away. I would say, because this will help add flavor to the beef. But also you want the onions to cook.
Yes.
You don't want the onions to be raw. So
no crunchy in there.
No crunchy onions.
Not for this recipe.
No. So the onions are in, the meat is browning.
So I see that your fingers are resting on the pot there, Silvia. Is that getting hot?
So this part of the pot doesn't get hot very easily. I'll say be careful.
Yes.
At the end, as you're opening the pot and your meal has been cooking for a while, you don't want to touch it, but right now that it's still somewhat cool, you can touch it a little bit, or you can just have a towel with you. You know, they say cook hands don't burn. I feel like I can touch all the skillets and all the things as I am cooking, and I don't feel I'm desensitized from that.
Of course, yes.
Okay, so now we'll add our garlic, and I only have 3 cloves of garlic here, even though it looks like I have a whole head.
It does look like a lot.
They were rather big, but that's okay. That just means we'll have more flavor going in. So 3 cloves of garlic going in now. And what we also want to do at this point is to season. So as I mentioned, I've got salt, pepper, and my thyme.
The thyme salt,
thyme salt, and 1 bay leaf. But you're welcome to add something else that you like.
So just go with your own flavor preferences.
Parsley, whatever you have. Oregano is also a delicious herb.
That's a regular in most of my soups and stews.
I feel like that's a fantastic herb for most soups and stews anyway. Pastas.
See, I must be learning something being here with you each week.
I would say. Okay, so that's going in, and we're going to, as I mentioned, season our beef now.
Fantastic.
I think I've mentioned this before. I don't measure salt and pepper. I always say to taste. So whatever
suits you.
Suits you.
I know that some people have an aversion to salt altogether, and others like to add the flavor.
Exactly. So I'm just going to be adding in a little bit, eyeballing measure, and this already has my thyme infused. So my herbs are infused in here. You can grab the recipe on the blog. It's just salt and fresh herbs. Right here. Or you could just be adding a bunch of a little bundle of fresh herbs as well, or dry herbs.
Okay.
So no brainer here.
Okay.
And now I add my salt, but I'm going to hold my bay leaf until a little bit later. The pepper. Okay, stir, stir. We're almost done with this part. So the meat is mostly browned.
Okay.
It's not all the way.
Okay.
And it's okay because it's going to be cooking for a little bit.
I see.
Right?
Yep.
So it's going to cook on high pressure. So by the time that's done, your meat is fully cooked and safe.
And crumbly and
yes. So we just want to get the browning going in here.
Okay.
So now that the beef is here and I'm happy with the way it looks.
Yes.
We're going to add all of the other ingredients.
Okay.
Add them in one by one.
Okay.
I'll start with our beautiful cabbage here.
Mm-hmm. So this is where we get all the color explosion.
And a lot of good texture as well.
Yes.
Here are carrots.
And so the carrots, I would presume the carrots would take longer to cook than the cabbage, but in here it all works by going in at the same time. There's no pacing of those ingredients. We're just throwing it all in there.
Yes, and they do work pretty good.
Good.
Everything is well balanced at the end.
Perfect.
Okay, so our 12 to 14 ounces of tomatoes and 32 ounces of broth going in.
Okay.
Our pot is looking rather full.
Now, which broth are you using here? Remind me.
I'm using chicken broth.
So chicken broth, even though we've got
sodium.
the beef.
Yes, I just happen to have chicken broth.
Right.
But beef broth would be fine.
Okay.
Bone broth.
But it really doesn't affect the overall finished result.
I don't find that it does.
Good.
No.
That's really helpful because often I'll look in the cupboard and realise that I've not got the right flavour and think, oh, do I need to stop and run to the store? But you're giving me permission to just go ahead and use what's there.
Yes, you have my permission.
Fantastic.
I find that it does not affect the recipe that much, and it's just good to use what you have.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway,
yes.
I'm a big believer of using what you have at home.
Keep it simple.
Our last ingredient, 1 bay leaf going in, and we're just gonna make sure the pot is full if you want to take a peek.
Yes, I can see it
just
from over there.
A good toss.
Good.
Toss it in. Make sure all the ingredients are mixed.
Already I can smell all those herbs coming through. And
so what we're going to do at this point is close our Instant Pot.
Yes.
You will hear a little sound. This one. Lock it in. Make sure you lock the venting valve.
Yes, yes.
And you cancel saute mode because up until this point we still had the pot on saute mode.
Okay, got it.
We'll cancel it. It's locked. Everything's locked, and then we're just pressing manual or high pressure.
Okay.
And we're going to do 10 minutes here.
Okay.
So it's going to take some time to build up pressure.
Yes.
Once the Instant Pot builds up pressure, it will count down from 10 to 0.
Yes.
This means the pot is ready to go.
Okay.
And at the end of the countdown, we're going to wait for natural pressure release.
Okay.
A lot of times in the recipes you will see NPR, that stands for natural pressure release.
Okay.
Meaning we just leave the pot alone, the pressure to come out naturally.
Yes.
Which means it's still cooking.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Rather than the alternative, which is to flick the switch on the vent to venting.
Quick
rather
pressure
than,
release.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, that is exactly what it is. So we're just going to let it cook longer under natural pressure release.
Sounds good.
Then you will hear the pin drop when all the pressure has released.
Ah, okay.
Yes. That's when we can open the pot and enjoy our soup.
Looking forward to it.
So those of you at home, we'll be back when our soup is ready to be served. I will see you in a moment. Welcome back. It's time to check on our soup, add some fresh herbs, and our favorite part, and
Taste.
taste.
So the pressure's just released.
it's all released.
Perfect.
And now we're just gonna turn the knob. So that releases the remaining of the pressure. And we're going to unlock the pot. Okay, so the pin just dropped. We'll turn, we'll hear that little sound. Be careful at this point because there will be still steam.
There'll still be some residual steam to come through.
So I like to hold the cover like near like this so the steam doesn't come up on my face.
Got it.
Or so
a free facial.
Yes, free facial. That smells like beef. I don't want those.
No.
Okay, so we'll just put our cover away for now, and we're just gonna.
And so, how does it look inside?
It looks good. It looks like everything's cooked.
Looks great.
It's a chunky recipe, so you've got the chunks of the vegetables, the tomatoes and carrots.
Everything's broken down nicely.
The cabbage, the beef, and you have the broth, which is nice, you know.
Yes.
Now, some people like their soup a little more chunky, and some more brothy. You can adjust.
Okay.
As you try out this recipe, you feel like that's too much broth for me. Maybe next time you add in the whole head of cabbage. Yeah. Or another cup of carrots or something else.
Right, just to absorb some of that liquid.
Yes. I personally like having a little bit of broth.
Well, it's meant to be a soup. Yes,
it is. So we'll add some fresh herbs, and believe it or not, the parsley here is still from my garden.
That's incredible.
And a tip that I have is put your herbs in a little jar with water, cover with plastic, and keep it in your fridge. Okay. And it keeps much longer. So
that's amazing. Wow.
So we'll add just
it looks
a
so
handful.
Fresh.
Exactly, and it's been in my fridge for 3 weeks. Wow. So you just want to put them in a jar with water. So I've got a big handful of herbs, but then again, you know I love my herbs.
I do, yes.
So you obviously feel free to adjust as you like. And I'm using parsley. I love cilantro. You can use something else or nothing. Right. Or just leave it as is. Something else that I like to add to my soups is just a good squeeze of lemon juice. Okay. So again, personal choices. Yes. Let's serve some. I'm very excited.
It looks perfect for the darker evenings and the warming around the fire.
Yes, cold nights.
Yes.
This one is for you.
Wonderful, thank you.
Be careful, it's a little hot.
Yes, just come out. But look at those colours, and everything looks so nicely blended and
just a healthy soup.
Really healthy looking, yes.
And again, it's, you know, I'm using cabbage, which is low carb. Yeah. You know, it's just a clean,
perfect for getting us back on track. That's
low budget, yes, and perfect for getting us back on track after the holiday overeating.
Okay, let's taste.
Let's taste.
I can feel the heat coming off of it.
It's very hot.
It's so flavoursome. I can taste all of those vegetables coming through. Really delicious.
Really
very warm. Yes, absolutely delicious. Another success, I think, Silvia.
Thank you. Now, Anne, would you have a wine pairing suggestion for a soup like this?
Well, with all of the vegetables here, you can go with a white, or with the red meat, you can go with a red. Again, like with your cooking, it's really down to your preference. Don't feel that you should go one way or the other. Okay. My favourite for something like this, I would probably go with a Chardonnay. Or with a Cabernet Sauvignon if you're a red lover. So I've got the Chardonnay here. This is one that I do enjoy, and you could equally pair it with a red.
That sounds amazing. We'll pour our glasses and enjoy our fresh bowl of soup. And I thank you so much for watching another episode of the Garden in the Kitchen Cooking Show. I hope you're enjoying. And if you have any recipe suggestions that you would like to see Anne and I cooking, let us know. Thank you so much for watching.
And a Happy New Year to everyone.